Well, 3:15 on Sunday afternoon will be Nebraska's senior day, and two of these seniors, Matej, Kavas, and Haanif Cheatham, bright spots for this team this year as they were some of the first to commit to Fred Hoiberg. Grad transfers, really important components to this Husker team. Let's start with Haanif Cheatham. Robin, playing some of his best basketball here in February, just really, really important component to this Nebraska team. What have you seen from him from July to now?
Yeah, Haanif was the first commit for Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska. When he was a grad transfer from Florida Gulf Coast via Marquette, and he joked that they asked him what was the reason why Nebraska was appealing to him. He's like, well, they had 11 open scholarships, so appreciate the honesty. But really, what it came down to was, he was one of the first guys to recognize the opportunity not only to play right away in the Big Ten, but to play for Fred Hoiberg and what that means to spend an entire season, even if it's not a full year for a guy like that, but at least a full season with that type of development and tutelage from a guy that knows professional offensive basketball as well as anybody in the country. And so this has been a tough season for Haanif. His last go-around to end it like this with that losing streak and the 20 losses, it's been hard, but I think he's able to kind of compartmentalize a little bit what this season has meant for him on an individual level, and I do think he feels like he gained from coming to Nebraska and taking a chance on the Huskers and being the first to do so. And so when his commitment happened, he kind of got the ball rolling for those 11 new players that joined the roster this year, and maybe more importantly, he was the one vocal leader throughout that was always coming up doing our little post-practice, post-game interviews, kind of answering some of the tough questions and not really blinking an eye in doing so. And I think that kind of veteran leadership was so important for Nebraska with so many new parts trying to fit together. Having a guy like that to kind of help piece it all together was invaluable. So, while I said this season certainly from a team standpoint wasn't what he hoped, I think he's done a really good job of making the most of that opportunity.
All right, and next up, Matej Kavas. He obviously got injured several games ago, but has still been a huge leader and kind of vocal team member for this Husker team. Kind of also opening up the door for European basketball, European players, things like that. What have you seen from him, especially since his injury, Robin?
Yeah, it's been a tough year for him. Certainly not what he or anyone on the team expected, given he was one of the best three-point shooters in all of college basketball his final year at Seattle last season. He's a 45% career shooter from behind the arc, and for whatever reason, he could never find a shot this year. Now, he had some moments where he was coming off the bench providing a spark, but this was a guy that was supposed to be a fixture in the rotation, and there was a point this season where he didn't play per coach's decision for 3 games. And so, whatever it was, it just never clicked for him here, which was unfortunate because Nebraska really could have used that element to just help this whole offensive flow. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's a lot like Haanif. This year wasn't anything what Matej wanted it to be, but I still think he feels like he's a better player coming out of Nebraska than he was going in, and a lot of that has to do with the Fred Hoiberg factor and being able to learn from one of the best shooting coaches in basketball. And so the injury, I think he's still got a few more weeks left in his recovery. I think he said his plan is to go play overseas somewhere. He doesn't care where, but I'm sure he'll have an opportunity. He understands the international game, and he's a good enough shooter that he'll find a home and have a successful professional career. And so, it's one of those deals that you wish it could have been a little bit more beneficial for both sides. But in the end, I don't think he has any regrets about coming to Nebraska.
Well, it will definitely be fun to see where these two seniors and grad transfers end up even a year from now. Nebraska will honor these seniors at Senior Day against Northwestern at Sunday at 3:15 p.m. at Pinnacle Bank Arena. For now, that's all we have for you. For Robin Washut and HuskerOnline.com, I'm Grace Harmon.